Kunal, I've seen this movie recently. It's called Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
So what about it?
I like the third part of the movie.
And why is that?
Because Barcelona is where we're heading to next.
Right.
But by the time our blog goes up, actually, Barcelona is where the thudding sounds, the thundering, stormy new F1 engines that actually don't make noise are going to be there with the cars. And the second test is about to get underway. What are we going to expect? Kunal Shah, Rishi Kapoor get together on the Inside Line F1 podcast. The first thing we're going to expect is Ferrari to top the timesheets.
or wait.
Yeah.
Or Sauber will come second on.
Even better. Mercedes will do 1,000 laps a day and still sandbag.
And you know what? Nico Rosberg will do about 90% of those laps. No, wait, 51% of those laps, just to prove a point. Okay.
And McLaren might just get 20 laps in a row and they'll all clap inside the garage.
Yeah, 20 time lapped is a good target for them. Trust me.
All right. I'm going to give it to you. 20 time laps could be the target on day one. But Dennis, that is the Ron Dennis, the menace of Formula One, says, my target to get sponsorship these days is not limited to the title sponsorship because, well, gone are the days where he could get a title sponsorship and it's really expensive. And the only moral of the story to this whole story, according to me, is grapes are sour. Because, let's face it, Formula One wants every penny it gets coming its way. They want to grab it.
Yes. For a change, I'll admit that Ron Dennis spoke sense.
Mm-hmm.
Initially in the past, title sponsor would take 40 to 50% of the overall budget, but with budgets crossing hundreds of millions of dollars every year, it's difficult to get that much money.
Yes.
But hey, let me put it this way also, Rishi. Out of all the 5 iconic teams in Formula One, it seems that McLaren is the only one that doesn't have a title sponsor. And Williams, of all people, have one.
Yes, Williams has Martini. Ferrari, Scuderia, well, here, there. They don't have Marlboro, but they're still managing. They have a lot of money.
Ferrari is the title sponsor for Scuderia Ferrari, if you go to see. Much like Red Bull is for Red Bull Racing.
Yes. Mercedes, AMG, Petronas, so well, they're sorted in their own way.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to send each of these brands a release order because we've stated their names free of cost on our podcast, boy.
Even barter is welcome in that case.
You mean engine oil for your car, is it?
I don't mention. I just, I give, I take.
I'd rather take the V6 turbo that Mercedes makes, trust me.
What? Put it on our skateboards. Okay, but he's gone around and been very snobbish and made a statement saying small teams, well, if you have less money, then have a little financial stability and have principles and have discipline. I mean, what is he trying to do? Be a bad Hindi movie villain? What is he trying to do?
It's a classical third world and the first world problem. Okay. Till the earnings of Formula One aren't standardized, I don't think anyone can talk of standardizing costs because in his own words, he said, listen, to compete if it takes 50, to be competitive, it takes 150.
Yeah, I have the 150.
Yes, exactly. So, well, he's Ron Dennis for a reason.
But what also happened is Formula One was gunning for some changes. Now, these changes were either going to happen in 2016 or 2017. To name a few changes, it was 1000 bhp engines, wider tires, a bigger 2-meter car, that way. But what Ron Dennis says is, well, we need the time to change and adapt, and 2017 should be the right year. Well, Mercedes said 2017 is what we want. Renault said 2016 is what we want. Well, Williams, nobody asked them. Ferrari actually came with pictures, okay?
Yeah.
So, Kunal, I'm going to discuss somewhere on the link while you're listening to our podcast now. You'll see the pictures of the new, imaginary Ferrari that looks very sci-fi, looks very badass like that. What do you think of that picture?
It looks really, really sexy, the car, no doubt.
Yes.
It's a hybrid between a single-seater and a sports car. So it's like a hybrid Formula One car. I don't know how it goes down with the fans. But seemingly so, it'll be quick. Okay, I wouldn't know. What do you think, Rishi?
It's so sci-fi. It looks like a physics lesson that will be driven by E.T. more than Sebastian Vettel. I mean, it's really sexy and all that, but it looks like speed racer more than Formula One. I think the double wing should be brought down to a single wing and still we'll be close to Formula One.
Yes, and one of the winglets should have the Inside Line F1 podcast name on it as well.
You lovely man. While Formula One is really worried about the future, they should be able to think about the present. This is a trap that they all fall into. Whether it's Mercedes still trying to look into Lewis Hamilton's contract. I mean, what's the deal? Just sign it and finish it. These are PR statements. You just want stories around you. I mean, where will Lewis go? Ferrari's not going to take them. Ferrari has Vettel. McLaren's not going to take him because they already have an Alonso. Red Bull never wanted him. We all know that.
Williams, he won't go to.
Williams
So if Mercedes, just go and sign the darn contract because anyways you're the faster car and the faster engine till the new regulations set in. Okay, but having said that, Alonso went to a McLaren this year.
We didn't predict that. And also let me please tell Mercedes that, come on, man up now, because it's quite simple, you know. You have the fastest car, you have another driver in Nico Rosberg that will easily win you the championships. So you don't actually need a Lewis as much as Lewis needs you.
Yes. Mercedes will have options. There's Hülkenberg, there's Alonso waiting.
There's Bottas.
There are a lot of options. There's probably even Pastor Maldonado for all we know.
Another man that could affect the future of Formula One, who has very, very evidently shaped the past of Formula One, is Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey could be a very, very important integral part of the Red Bull team again because the coming up rules, regulations make the engine and chassis again both equally important rather than the engine formula that we're running right now.
Yes, and given Newey and his love for Formula One, if there are more developments possible on the chassis side of things, where there are more aero gains and it isn't so engine biased, like you said, Rishi, I don't see why he won't come back. Of course, Formula One's gain will be sailing's loss. I love both sports from the bottom of my heart, you know that. But bringing an Adrian Newey back is still not going to get us TV audiences. You and I should both know that. And so should our listeners.
Yes, and what FIA doesn't know is we've lost a lot of viewership to Formula One, but the stickiness has just gone a little more loyal, if I may say, the viewership. So earlier, if somebody was watching a race for 10 minutes, it's become now 15. And to the surprise of the whole world, viewership in America, that usually is not a Formula One market, has increased.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, America is doing what they typically do. They're watching a sport which I expect, or I don't expect, a large part of the earthlings to not watch in the next decade.
Yes, example, NBA. They have a world championship of NBA that originates, finishes in America, and it's still something. I don't know how it's a world championship, but it's paying a lot of money. The Lotus team has turned around and said, well, Formula One needs marketing. The FOM needs a marketing department. You guys are just working like the Italian mafia. You come, you show guns, you say, these are the rule changes, make the car, we make the car. I mean, that's not how it works. You've got to be more popular. And that's why other motorsports are overtaking us. And that's not right. And I think they have a point here.
They absolutely have a point. If I was the marketing manager for Formula One, Rishi, I would do what Falvio Briatore has said.
Yes, Flavio's come back with a very, very interesting idea. I am super impressed. I usually hate the man. And his accent and his stupid
and his
sunglasses.
Girlfriends as well.
Oh, his girlfriend is damn nice. Yeah. His sunglasses are really irritating. Okay, so Flavio's idea is...
He said that Formula One should absolutely be a driver's championship.
Woohoo!
Which I totally agree with.
Okay, so what I think is the FIA should make all the 24 cars that is required in the championship and then distribute it amongst different teams, and every team has their own color and their own marketing strategy.
Absolutely, and let the teams run it as an independent business.
Yes.
Where the business is about racing, but not about building cars. Okay, and then imagine if we have 24 equal cars on the grid with Alonso, Button, Hamilton, Rosberg, and even Massa battling it out. You'll just probably reach a situation where even 2 hours of racing is probably less. What do you think, Rishi?
It's still too less for me. I can talk about racing for 2 hours, but well, not a lot of people would want to hear me for 2 hours because I'm a little more noisier than the current day engine, but I'm not as sweet. So, in case you're planning to follow us and especially if you're in America, in the United States, we are on the TuneIn Radio app. So, woohoo! Woo! My friend Kunal Shah has figured out another way to give us a face, and that is the TuneIn Radio app. We are available over there, and all you have to do is hit the search tab and look for Inside Line F1 Podcast, and you'll see a very nice thing, a very cool thing, a very happening thing called the Inside Line F1 Podcast, as I just mentioned. Kunal Shah and Rishi Kapoor get together on the table to bring this for you. I hope it's really entertaining, even if it's not. Lie about it. Thank you so much. Happy racing.